The Ethics Committee.
What?
Now, well, we don't have an Ethics Committee here, so.
No, well, we have members of the Ethics Committee here.
Well, now New Mexico is one of only 8 states.
Well, we probably need to do away with that too then, huh?
You laugh, sir.
I'm not laughing, but I'm on the committee, and we had a hell of a decision this
But are you telling me that New Mexico doesn't need an Ethics Committee?
New Mexico had ethics, and we had that this session in the Senate, sir.
Well, but you didn't pass it.
Well, we had a senator resign.
Excuse me?
We had a senator resign.
Well, I don't know the case, but I won't therefore get into it. But one senator resigning for whatever reason does not equal an ethics committee that governs all of you in public office.
Well, we have an ethics committee, and it does govern us pretty harshly.
You do have an ethics committee. Now I have the same situation I had over here. I think you don't have an ethics committee, and you tell me you do have an ethics committee.
Okay.
So we have, Senator Papin, do we have an ethics committee?
Yes, Sam, we do have one.
Anyone think we don't have one?
The question is, should we have an ethics commission? And we've had that.
Well, you're right. I used the word committee, and you were right to seize on my word in the legislature.
Yeah, so
I am talking about a commission.
I see our #1 advocate for that in the audience, Mary Helen Garcia, who carried that bill. I've carried it as well, and we did have an ethics commission bill, which would go across the board through all branches of government. It's a little hard to do because is the judiciary separate? How does the executive tie into the legislature? And the Constitution of the state says each house shall be the sole judge of its qualifications of its members, which seems to say that the only way to remove a senator or a representative is through that in-house process. So the House has nothing to do with the Senate. The Senate has nothing to do with the House on that. So how does the commission work into that? There's a 30-page bill. That's an ethics commission that other states have that would have a very fair process. The most important thing to note about an ethics commission is that the overwhelming majority of people in government, legislators, representatives, senators, school board members, mayors, city councils, county commissioners are very ethical, and they're working very hard to make their state better. And so the most important thing an ethics commission could do is make it easier for public servants to know what's the right thing to do, because the law is on the books, but ethics is kind of a changing dynamic. I mean, we were told early on that you probably don't want to use state resources to do your email. So people go, well, we'll just go to Gmail. And then we're told later on, you shouldn't be at Gmail, you should only be using the state one, which says, well, if I was going to do my... So there's some moving targets out there that an ethics commission would give the ability for any public servant on that to say, look, what's the best way for me to handle my email? What's the best way? My kids asked me to sell raffle tickets for the church bazaar. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? So questions like that a commission would be able to tell a member, this is how we would avoid it, or if you do it this way, we think it's right, and that kind of gives you a green light to proceed ethically, because I think the overwhelming majority, 99.9%, want to do everything ethically, and we just want to make sure we're doing it right.
You've made that point twice now, and I agree with you, and I want to ask the panel about that. The vast majority of members of the legislature in Washington of 53 years that I knew, I think were ethical. There were, the bad apples, but there is in my business too. Why does the public then, so much of the public, according to the polls, think you're all a bunch of crooks? Is it because Mr. Limbaugh and Mr. Savage and Mr. Shanity tell them every day that you're all a bunch of crooks, or why? Seriously, it's a serious question.
I think the public does, on a large basis, look at those of us who are in these positions as, for some reason, what is their dark side? And I don't know why they do that, except that they aren't maybe as much a part of the process as they might be, and maybe would understand things somewhat better. And I think we have to do campaign reporting, and we have to report everything, and it goes to the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State looks at the thing that our reports that we hand in, goes through them very thoroughly. If there's something there that's disallowed, they certainly let you know about it.